Hi everybody, welcome to the Helpful Hints pivot table section. So first off, pivot tables can be extremely advanced. We have an entire section in the intermediate tutorial and the advanced tutorial that review pivot tables. So this is just an introduction to what they are, that you can take these things to a whole new level. So what a pivot table is, it's just an easy way to build a table that you can constantly modify to kind of examine your data a little bit quicker. And so the first thing generally you want to do is I like to make my data a table first. That way, when we modify the data, the pivot table will actually update. And so what you have to do is you go to this Insert tab, and then just select it on your data, just hit Table, and then it's going to say, all right, it generally selects it all for you, and you select, yeah, it doesn't have headers, and you're like, okay, it'll change colors, it'll look kind of beautiful. It actually puts in the filters for us if we want it. And then you can name this stuff, resize it, you can play around with that. But what we want to go is then select our table. We know it's table 1 right now. We'll do Insert, Pivot Table, and it selects, do you want table 1? Well, yeah, that's what we want, so we do okay. And now it looks like nothing happens, and now it's up to you. And so the two most common places where I start will be the rows and the values. So generally rows are what category you want to look at. So an easy one for us might be, I don't know, category. So let's take category down here, and within our data we have 3 categories: furniture, office supplies, and technology. And then in the values, it's well, what do you want to look at? So maybe I want to look at, I don't know, quantity. So again, I'll click and drag. It starts off adding them all up. And so that's nice for this case. So it's saying, okay, we sold 8,000 pieces of furniture, 22,000 pieces of office supplies, and so on. But maybe you want to look at something else. So let's keep quantity, but you also wanted to look at profit. And so profit here, it starts again with sum. It's hard to compare these because they're just adding them all up. What if we want average profit per unit sold? Well, you can change that, right? So you can go to where it says sum of profit, and if you're a Mac, this looks a little bit different. It's actually a lot easier. You're going to click on the little I button, and you'll change it to average. For us lowly PC users, we got to click on this drop-down menu, and we have to go to value field settings, and then we change it to average. And you'll notice all the other options in here. You have min, you have max, you have product, you have count, standard deviation, variance. So you can do a lot of things. We just want average. We can do okay. And now we can see our average profit on a piece of furniture was $8, on office supplies $20, and on technology $78. So now it's really easy to see that. And so these are very, very useful. You can do so many things with these. You can add in filters on top of them. Again, they can be super advanced. Maybe you want to do subcategory as well. You can see how it kind of breaks down. And I mean, there's just so much you can play around with. You can drag these so they're different orders. That looks hideous, so I might go back. You can have it so it shows the subcategory, and then if you do category up to filter, you can kind of select them all. So maybe you want to look at all of them, or maybe you want to just look at furniture, or you want to look at office supplies, you want to look at technology, something like that. There's also something called a slicer, where if you'd rather have push button kind of things. So if I do category down here, if I do insert a slicer, you can do I don't know, different stuff. So if, let's just do category, and I'll show you what happens. These little buttons show up, so your graph or your thing over here disappears. Then if you click, it just shows you furniture, and then it just shows you office supplies, and it just shows you technology. So a little more user-friendly. If you want to select them all, you can click up here, and so you can multiple select, or you can hold Shift or Control on the keyboard, and it works as well. If you want that back, so this thing, all you gotta do is click back in the table. Again, these can be super advanced, but that's a nice way to get started. I hope this was helpful.